Welcome and thank you for tuning in to Cryptids, Creeps, and Conspiracy. The following content may involve explicit language and materials, so listener discretion is advised. Happy Valentine's Day, everybody. I just wanted to make a note and apologize greatly. I am aware that the audio quality on my end is a little, subpar for this episode, but I didn't really have the time to re-record everything with these ladies, so I did the best that I could. So I apologize for it sounding a little funny, but I hope you have a good holiday.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back. Before we get too far into this, in case you decided to skip the intro, I'm going to throw some disclaimers out here because this is our Valentine's Day special. So things are going to get pretty dark, a little filthy. Just so you know, listening forward, we're going to be talking about the birds and the bees and all of their pieces probably in between. And I did not mean to do that, but it works out. Going forward, if you listen, no bitching, no moaning, and no nasty comments about what we talk about or anything. If you've got a kid anywhere in the vicinity, turn the shit off and listen later. That being said, with me today is Katrina and Jasmine, the spooky gals. Turn it over to them. Give them a minute to explain who they are, what they do, and anything that they want to tell you.
Hello, guys.
Thank you so much, Natasha. Yes, we are the Spooky Gals. We have a podcast that talks about all things creepy, like sort of real stories, the paranormal, cryptids, aliens, like
sounds familiar.
Anything spooky at all. Like it can even be like not paranormal.
I tend to call it like a paranormal history comedy podcast.
Yeah.
Kind of encapsulating a bunch of different things, predominantly told through the means of like spooky stories, where normally Katrina, our resident historian, tells a really well-written, thoughtful account, and then I tend to chime in and say really inappropriate things that I find funny. And sometimes you won't, but that's fine because I'm having fun. Anyway.
And if they get too bad, I just cut them out the episode and put them in our outtakes for Patreon. We know that they're not going to cancel us.
Insert an appropriate shit. I am like a one-man band.
Someone to like filter it sometimes, I think. Like not you specifically, but like if it was just up to Jasmine, like I can like sort of censor her slightly. We wouldn't have a podcast anymore if it was just her.
For those of you listening and can't see the facial expressions that I'm so good at, this is going to be a really good one, I'm sure, to watch. But shameless plug, you can only see video content via Patreon subscription. So check it out. And obviously you guys have a Patreon subscription so they can go find you guys as well. Can you tell us where listening wise they can find you?
You can find us on all places where you listen to podcasts, as well as our website, like directly, which is on Buzzsprout. And then I think we're like most active on our Instagram page. So that's Spooky Gals Podcast.
That's where I think I do most of mine as well, which is interesting. What I might have you guys do also after this is just kind of email me your links and I'll copy them and then I will paste them in the description. So that way anybody listening, whenever they listen, could just scroll down and find you guys that way as well. That way we just got everything covered. So
perfect. Thank you.
I was wondering, so when you guys do all things spooky, I was going to ask, do you also do, I guess you would call it like horror stuff? I noticed your cup.
So I'm a big fan of horror movies, as is Patty. I think we do tend to talk. We have moments where we talk about like any movies we've seen, any games we've played that we really like.
Oh yeah.
But we do try to keep things. Sometimes we have the odd true crime thingy, but only if it's like an unexplained or kind of slightly strange crime. Like I covered the story of a vampiric murder, which was
Oh.
in Sweden, and things like that. Like, so it's not straight up true crime. It's kind of true crime that people think might actually have secretly supernatural or unknown causes. That's
Okay.
stuff.
Awesome.
Yeah, I really enjoy true crime, but then you get those people that are like, oh, it's so exploitative, like if you talk about things. So I thought, like, when deciding what to do with the podcast, I was like, I'd like to keep like a bit of distance from that, maybe. So like, so if we do stuff, it's like more historical type thing, just to not like get into those issues. But
well, today, you lucky ladies, we get cut it loose. I mean, there is on my podcast, what I try to do is we don't have filters. You can say whatever the hell you want. I'm not going to think twice, and it doesn't bother me. I label everything explicit, and I put lots of labels all over everything, like I just did. Yo, don't listen if you don't like it. Most of the time, I don't get anything too dirty, although I am. So today I get to actually, break free, and I'm like, oh, I love this topic. It's going to be fantastic.
Tell us more about the topic, because Katrina, all I know is I know very, very basic what we're talking about. It's about elves or something.
That's
so
all you know?
Tell me more.
Oh, that's all you know?
Yeah.
Oh,
that's all I know.
Well, shit.
You only told us like
Why don't we go ahead and just dive in?
Okay, go on.
I hope you guys are prepared and ready, because this is fucking awesome.
Always.
Located between the Arctic and North Atlantic Oceans is a Nordic island known as Iceland, which most people have heard of. I still find it ironic that Iceland is green and Greenland is icy. I'm not sure what happened there, but generally that vicinity kind of area is actually where my heritage is from. When I did all my DNA testing, which I also find fascinating, I was like, oh, great. I'm basically an Irish Viking. This is like the worst combination of anger issues in the world. So work on my battle cry. But the small country displays mountaintops, lava fields, and glaciers in all kinds of beautiful arrangements. It is home to adorable miniature ponies, peaceful puffins, and sanctimonious sheep. But among these cute little critters are creatures that have made one hell of an impression due to one woman, and I'm going to try to say her name the best I can. I tried to sound it out and write it out, known as Halgadur. Halgadur? I was like, what the?
We've done a few episodes where it's like Scandinavian names, and it's
And so her full name is Halgadur Hallgrimsdottir. I think that's a pretty good little accent there. I think I did pretty good.
That was.
And this woman published a work that she wrote herself called "Please Yourself: Sex with Icelandic Invisibles." And when she wrote yourself, it is, YOURS capital ELF. I know. I'm like, touche, lady, touche.
Nice.
And another word, everybody calls them elves. It's very popular. There's all kinds of different types. There's actually an elf school where you learn. I think it was like 53 or something, maybe, like different kinds of elves and how they live and where you can find them. I mean, you literally get a degree at the end. It's pretty cool. I would actually probably go to that because it'd be fun. And I think you get it's like at the end, you get your award while you eat like pancakes and coffee or something. It's really fun. And another name, though, that these people identify these particular elves as is called a huldafolk.
We did an episode on the Hulda.
Ah, sweet.
Oh yeah, we did that.
Okay, here we go. We're about to get. We'll just keep on trucking. And those who have not grown up around Icelandic traditions, another word for them, what it means is hidden people. They're kind of like just supernatural. I guess, I don't know if you would consider, some people consider it supernatural. Some people consider it magical. And they're just, little people that live in nature. And these enchanting elves are said to be as small as 8 centimeters tall, but up to 3 feet tall. You like how I like totally threw in the metric and the yeah. We're just
No, we
it.
deal with centimeters and feet in the UK. We're fine. 6, I think.
I'm 5'4".
You're 5'4". Oh
Mhm.
well.
I'm only 5'2".
You are smaller than
I'm
me. Oh, yes, I'm
like-
cute.
I mean, my 12-year-old
tall-
has me beat
tall
by
one.
like 5 inches, and he's 12. Yeah, it's really embarrassing. It's okay. It's all right. They
Wait,
just
so these elves can be 3 foot tall or
Yes.
8 centimeters tall.
correct.
Anywhere between.
Yes.
That's quite a height difference, if I do say so myself.
Oh yeah, we'll get into some of that. Just how the logistics of that might work. So they also are said to have pointy ears, per the norm. Excuse me, structured similar to humans as far as, they got 2 arms, 2 legs, a trunk. If you saw one, you might just be like, wow, that's literally a little person.
Yeah.
You wouldn't be like, what the hell is that? Thinking the fly swatter or something. You could literally just be like, well, that's a really small person.
Like the borrowers.
Yeah, and it says that generally they're slim, they're elegant, and above all else, everybody agrees they are absolutely fucking gorgeous. I mean, they are just showstoppers, apparently. I'm wondering if it was they are, or maybe it is that supernatural or magical, whatever. They've got mojo that makes them seem like more alluring or something.
Kind of like a siren.
Yeah.
I can't think of any elf ever.
What is elf? I cannot believe I just blanked on the name of that. The Ring. Wait.
Lord of the Rings.
Legolas.
Lord of the Rings, not the Ring.
Yeah. The Ring.
Fuck me. That bitch coming out of
All the elves in Lord of the Rings.
I've seen something that looked a lot like her. So let's not, definitely not attractive. No offense, lady. Please don't come back wherever you are. I'm not fucking around. But the origin of these horny holder folk goes as such. Adam and Eve, long time ago, for all the people out there that are into that stuff, along with their children, were anticipating a visit from the big man himself. Eve felt that she wasn't ready for such a visit because some of her kids, they're kids. Their kids are in the Garden of Eden. They're probably out fucking around. They're dirty. They're kids. And they weren't clean. So she was like, oh my gosh, I can't let God come in here and see my children dirty.
Why do I think you meant Father Christmas? What's wrong with me? I thought when you said the big man is coming, I thought...
Oh, the big man was Father Christmas. That's awesome.
I'm sorry.
Well, maybe you were maybe following like a Yule lad, maybe. Yeah. But
sorry, please.
You're good. So they were dirty. They needed a bath. And in a story clearly concocted by a man with a thriving patriarchal disposition, Eve decided to hide her filthy children instead of giving them a quick wipe down, because apparently women are too stupid to complete a basic motherly task. Anyway, God arrives and he saw that the children were being hidden from him, and he was said to, which I think is really interesting, put a curse on the spawns, saying, that which you hid away from me shall be hidden from all. And thus the children became small-statured, primarily invisible beings.
That seems a bit unnecessary, God.
I'm just
chill.
punishment. What?
Take a chill
what?
pill.
Oh, dude, Old Testament shit, dude, that guy was crazy. But I'm wondering when this God, became like a voodoo priestess or something, like putting a curse on him. Like, why would you put a curse on him? Yeah. But that's why they say that they were created, basically, because he was saying, you shouldn't be ashamed. Why should man be ashamed? I am God, blah, blah, blah. And he basically turned them into elves. Which I guess is better than getting smote.
I mean, I would be pretty upset though if I was like eternally really, really hot and no one could see me, because I would want to be seen.
Or
even if I were filthy.
You can see you can see him. I think it's maybe you can be seen when you want to be seen situation.
Okay, so then
Well,
the
that's
curse is
even
useless.
better. Well, then, yeah, that's not a
curse
curse.
is- Fuck you, God. That's a sick curse. I would love that.
I mean,
shit. I'll take it right now. Give it to me.
I mean,
I'll take the curse.
we shall assess more later. We'll get some more deets and then we'll get it. Rumor has it that the locals have been porking the elven community for centuries in the dark. I mean, just on the DL is what everybody says. They're like, oh yeah, they've been fucking for years. Once we get into this a little bit more, you'll understand why I'm like, I can see that. Like, totally doable. I'm a little jealous, but yeah, you know. And the people in Iceland are very, very conscious of the elves and where they live and everything. Even, I mean, there was a story that was saying they needed to build like a highway or a road, and they were building it, and then they came to this area that they said is where the elves lived. So they completely redid, like stopped what they were doing, reassessed, re-engineered, and planned this whole thing to make the road go around where the elves were so that they did not upset them. Because apparently you really don't want to piss these things off.
You don't want to piss them off.
Yeah, they're bad news
have
bears.
Either of you, or has anyone who's listening, if you've watched the Eurovision film where they represent Iceland, yeah,
I have no idea.
The elves featured prominently in that film.
Really?
It's a really good film.
I might have to look that one up.
It's brilliant.
I'm a hermit.
stunning.
I just went on a cult classics video marathon last weekend where what did I watch? American Werewolves of London, Killer Clowns from Outer Space, like stuff like that. So I was watching. They're awesome. Oh, Masters of the Universe or something.
He-Man.
Oh yeah, I was like, I was definitely liking that movie. And then I watched this other movie. It was called The Barbarians, not Conan. It was literally just The Barbarians. And let me tell you, it was two hot dudes walking around pretty much naked the whole fucking movie. Oh my God, I've never been so focused in my life. Like I even took a picture and sent it to someone. I was like, dude, you gotta watch this movie. I was like, look at this butt. Look at all these butts. Hey, I got to see some racks too. So, you know, can't complain.
Done.
Yeah. But in the book that I mentioned above, the author, photographer, self-proclaimed sex nerd, my God, if I could talk, wife and proud mother of one, goes balls deep into sex with elves and what she thinks about it. And all I got to say is that poor child.
Imagine getting bullied because your
mom fucks elves.
Like,
so wait, is it that the little boy was born of an elf dad?
No, he's all human. Okay. She's married also. So she's married. So she's got a kid, and she is fucking these elves left and right.
Is she still fucking the elves? Or is this past tense?
Oh yeah, she's still. We'll get a little more into it here in a minute, but yeah, I just kept thinking, I'm like, this kid's got to grow up. What is? I mean, can you imagine bring your mom to school or whatever? You know, what's show and tell, and you bring your parents. What do you do? I fuck elves and write books. Do you want to see?
All I'm thinking of is that one scene, and I think it's Scary Movie 1 or 2, where she's fucking the ghost.
That's two.
Yeah, over the house.
Yeah, I love how he like pulls her jammies up and like he looks at the calendar. It's like Monday, and her jammies say like, or her panties say Wednesday, and he's like, "What the?" Yeah, and then he has like the cigar afterwards. I love that movie. That is one of my favorite movies ever.
I love Scary Movie. It's really
oh my gosh.
Each one has like a really iconic part.
Yeah, really the first one, the only part that the one I thought was the funniest in Scary Movie 1 was when he stabs her and he pulls it out and it's an implant on the end of his knife. Yeah. And that's about the only part that I remember. Yeah. But all the
like
Scary
the
Movie
signs where it's like safety. and
yeah.
she likes some death, and then she runs.
Yeah,
She's like the death one.
The second one's definitely the best, though, out of all of them, in my opinion. I mean, it's just great.
Oh, I've always loved 4.
I was gonna say Scary Movie 4, just the way
Or
that like she
is
speaks
3
the
the
fake
wait?
Japanese.
Is it 3 or 4? Which is the is it 4? Which is the Grudge one?
I think it's 4.
Yeah, and the aliens as
It's
well.
3.
Well,
I think,
Yeah,
isn't that right? 4. I swear it's 4.
yeah. Whichever one is
Has
the
the
Grudge
Grudge.
one is like
Google. Yeah,
so
Google
messed
now,
up.
Google.
I've not seen 4 because I told my mother that I was going to
Yeah.
watch it with my boyfriend, and we never made it out of the car.
Oh
Let's-
dear.
So-
Yeah, is that 4? Yeah. That one is so funny, honestly.
I was
And it's the
Oh,
world
you
of
need to
the
watch
War
it.
of the World spoof as well.
Oh, yeah,
He
I was
keeps like hitting the child.
Yeah, I was supposed to be watching that movie, but instead I was busy getting jiggy with it, so I never actually saw it.
You know what? That's fine.
Well,
That's
I
fine.
suggest that this
Yeah.
Valentine's, when you're not getting jiggy with it, you should watch Scary Movie 4.
Yeah, like take me
Remedy
back.
that shit.
And I'm
Yeah.
like, well, I think it was worth it, and we saved some money, so you know,
There
win-win.
you go.
What in the absolute hell? Please hold. My screen just got all like fucked up, and apparently my charger came unplugged. Sorry. Please
Oh,
hold.
good.
Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. Okay, I'm back. Save music by Tasha. Anyway, in this book, so she considers sex with the average human, aka her poor lonely husband, more than mundane after the sensational sexcapades she has experienced with these empathic and enchanting elves, right? So, I mean, they are
That poor
just.
man, though,
Can you
to
imagine?
publish that in a book.
Yeah, the whole world, everyone will know. They're like, wow, you're vanilla.
I mean, that's how I feel about sex with men, to be honest. That's why I haven't done it for a very long time. So, like,
I'm like, well,
I feel that.
every now and then you get lucky. But I get it.
I'll take
But
your word for it, honey.
I'm just thinking this poor guy, you know, he's at work. I don't know what he does, but let's just say he's like a construction worker, a real manly job. And they're all gathered around like eating lunch or some shit, waiting for the whistle to blow. And they're like, so Tommy, I heard you're pretty vanilla. Do you think I can convince your wife otherwise? Like I can just see those types of conversations
And it's
happening.
even worse in an Icelandic accent, I imagine.
Yeah, I don't even know
The
if I could.
taunting.
Yeah, I don't even know if I could do it if I tried. It'd probably come out all kinds of fucked up. But
Girly, girly.
yeah, I was like, "Hey, Tommy," like, I'm like, "That's definitely not
Hey,
right."
Sven,
Oh,
I
Tommy.
heard that your wife likes to fuck elves. That's more
How
German.
could you say that?
Okay,
I'm crying when he gets my gun.
I just had this mental as soon as Katrina started. This picture, I'm picturing like this little blonde hair, blue-eyed, you know, like heavyweight little boy with a white shirt and what do they call it, lederhosen or whatever, like little bibbies. He's like, "Oh, I heard your mother." Like, wait, that's what I was picturing, like it's little clogs. Oh my gosh.
It's like
Okay.
that scene in Frozen. In Frozen, with the guy saying, "What was it?
What Frozen are you watching?
A blowout."
What?
In Frozen. You know the guy in the baths. I'm not going crazy. There's a guy in Frozen who runs like the bathhouse, and he's like,
Oh
"Woo,
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
a
yeah,
blowout." That man, yeah.
yeah, yeah.
I
And
have
he
a
has
boy.
like a gay family. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh. Oh, I don't know. Maybe I should go
It's
watch.
like a secret erotic Frozen.
I've only
with
seen it
elves.
like I've only seen it like one time, so but she then goes on, and this is
Take
where it
note.
gets funny. All right. So she states that her first sexual encounter with these limber little people was purely accidental. Like, how the fuck does that even happen, right? But here's what she says. One beautiful sunny day, she found herself enjoying a jovial jaunt through the gorgeous greenery of Iceland's wilderness, when suddenly she claims, quote, He just came to me and whispered things into my ear, dirty talk, end quote. And I'm not sure I would classify that as a sexual encounter. And if he's only at the maximum 3 feet tall, how the fuck is he whispering in her ear?
I classify that as sexual harassment, to be honest.
I was going to say that's right.
I mean, I've heard worse. I've heard worse a tons of times. Like, but I mean, how does he like Tarzan his way in?
Wait, so was he a
Just
3
appears
foot
from
elf
nowhere.
or an 8 centimeter elf?
She didn't say what her first one was. She just said he was dirty talking her, but she didn't even say what they said.
Because, like, I mean, 3 foot might be a bit alarming, but 8 centimeters is like, whoa, this is a bit more than just.
Yeah, that's
like,
what I'm-
there's a more important part of this.
Like a
than
little, like,
just that
on
he
the
talks to you.
But how did? Oh my gosh, hold on. He's got a rope. He's like Mission Impossible. This shit. So she's in the woods, and he comes down from this tree with this little rope, and he like is just hanging on his knees bent, and he's like by her ear, and he's like, "Hey, baby, you want to fuck?" And
Comes in on his mini zip wire.
she's probably like, "What the? What's that?"
No, what's more concerning is that she said yes to like just some random fucking dude, like, oh hey, you want to bang? Actually, yes, let's do it. Like, really?
But that's what thing is. But that's all she says is that he whispered things in her ear, and that was the first encounter. So I'm not even sure I would classify that as a sexual encounter. It doesn't say that she agreed and they whatever the hell they were trying to do.
Maybe it was like an erotic encounter, like he said sexy things.
Well,
Lame.
Yeah,
I'm
I'd
just
like to
trying
know
to think of
more
what
about, like,
they-
what actually happened.
Yeah. It's like I'm trying to picture like, what did he say? How did he say it? How the fuck did he get up there? Like, what if
Did he disappear afterwards?
What?
It's not very sexy just watching him walk away.
Oh no, it gets better. Oh, it gets way better.
Oh god.
But maybe he was like 3 feet tall, and he was like, "Psst, come here, I got something to say." Why does my guy have like this like New York accent all of a sudden? Like,
yo, get down here, girl.
and Bubby. But like, he's like, like, I don't know, like, what the fuck does he say? But I don't know. Anybody out there from Iceland, please, dear God, for the love of everything holy and unholy, send me a fucking email or something, comment, and I want to know what Icelandic men classify as talking dirty. I want you to talk dirty to me in Icelandic, whatever. English so I can read it, but you know what I mean. Okay, that's all I'm going to ask. So, I still haven't figured that out. But then she also goes on to say that these sex machines are very limber, they're very strong, yet they're also very light. Not really sure. I mean, how limber do you gotta be if, like, the thighs could crush you. It's like a trash compactor. Okay, that's a really gross description. I could have came up with something way better than that. Sorry.
No, you're right.
I just don't get mechanically how it would, like, if you were like this big, would you just shove it up your vag? What would you do with that thing?
I think that's literally somewhere in my notes where I'm like, did they just like fall in? I mean, with their little feet hanging
like
out,
a suppository, just like a tampon.
And then he just like goes all Tasmanian devil in there. Like, what if he like goes and he like falls in and his little feet are hanging out and he's just like, like, what do you do?
A lot of elves are suffocated to death.
No elves were hurt in the making of this podcast.
Drowned.
Fine.
Don't go chasing waterfalls, ladies.
Or elves.
Oh, that. Anyway, one thing she stresses a lot their flexibility. I mean, it gets brought up multiple times, and now it gets real good. So I'm going to read you a description of one of the many positions that she enjoys. And then I found where she drew a picture to show what she meant. And I'm going to show you ladies that. All right.
Can't wait.
So
I'm so excited.
picture this with me. So you have the elf. It does not specify how big, small, whatever. You got an elf. And the elf is bent backwards with his face pointing up, kind of like a semi back bend. Not too bad, right? That's pretty easy. And then it said with him standing with her feet kind of up on his shoulder. I'm thinking crunch, but maybe that's where the strong comes in. He proceeds to toss her taco salad.
So he's bent like that, right?
Yes.
And his head's
I
down.
am going to need a diagram.
Yes.
And her legs are around this way.
Yeah.
Or around that way.
So here, I am going to share my screen with you.
Oh, God.
Oh, it's not horrible. They're literally like stick people. It's nothing drastic.
Oh, damn. I was hoping for something.
Well, she's not the greatest artist. All right.
Oh, that's even better.
So this is what I'm seeing, he's not bent. Oh my God, she gave it a boner.
So standing on his shoulders.
She's like crouched on his head.
But then you have some more down here, so some different, like there's like a weird 69 thing. But how would that work if he's only 3 feet tall or less?
He would have to be very strong.
But right here, okay, so this one on the bottom picture on the top, I will post all of these in social media whenever this episode comes out, so all of you guys can take a peek at it. But I think this one on the bottom drawing on the top left is the position that I just read to you. So minus the shoulder thing. I think maybe like when I don't know what the hell's happening. And I think that bottom right is that dude. Is that him jizzing with her on his face?
I feel like also he looks.
Oh,
really,
let me
really
zoom
tall.
in.
He looks too tall in these.
Yeah, he is. Oh my God, he is.
I think some of that might be cut off because I don't.
I tried
no idea what's happening in the bottom.
I tried to open it and it wouldn't allow me. It was like some rights thing or something. But look, this one even has a little boner. Oh, hold on, it's not going to let me move my thing because there. Oh, whoop. See, there it is. Right there's a little wiener.
Why does he look really tall on that though?
I don't. He doesn't even have
Slender Man.
He's got no arms.
Slender Man.
Lieutenant Dan, you ain't got no arms. But
Mama always said life was like a box of elf sex. You never know what you're gonna get.
Oh, you do not. You just wait, honey. So that being said, Halgador just raves about the Pac-Man abilities, saying that these little people have incredible tongues, which makes me kind of wonder if the concept of and rumors and lore about elves eating people really had a dirtier meaning than owing for dinner.
I have to say, I've never actually heard about an elf eating anyone.
I've heard. I found it in some of the lore that I read was these. Well, because there's different kinds, and I guess I don't know, but it showed up a couple things. I've not heard it very often. I only ran across it a couple times, and I was like, well, I'll throw it out there. But yeah, so apparently these things are just. I mean, they're down for Pound Town, but they just love doing that oral sex.
I guess even cannibals get horny sometimes, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, look at Dahmer.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh no!
I mean, I'm just saying. I couldn't think of another.
True.
I couldn't think of another cannibal that.
She's got a point there.
What about that random Japanese man who is like a known cannibal and is just living for free?
Oh yeah, and he's like a celebrity in Japan. Yeah.
Yeah, everyone fucking loves the guy.
I might have to look that one up. That's the thing.
Big old thing. He loves.
It's said across the board, basically, that another thing with these elves that is so great is that they know exactly what you want without you having to say anything. Halgador even states in her book, quote, they can do stuff you would never imagine and also have the imagination to think of things you never would, end quote. And honey, challenge accepted because I am fucked up.
What do you think that means, though? That sounds vaguely threatening to me. Like, outside of the realm of human imagination, I would be a little bit afraid of whatever a little midget elf man could think of.
Okay. Whatever you want to do to me that's going to make me feel that good, I don't give a fuck. No questions asked. I mean, thank you, sir. May I have another? I mean, beggars can't be choosers, right?
And then he'll like bring his little friend along with him. Also, yeah, what gender are these elves? Are they like?
We'll get into that. We'll get into that.
Okay. Let's hear about the smorgasbord of
the elf pussy buffet. And she does make a point to state that, in her opinion, when it comes to these guys, size doesn't matter because of how flexible they are. And
even
she
8
also
centimeters, though.
I know, right? I don't know, maybe he could just really get that G spot, swim up there, and be like, "Oh my god!" He sits down on the bucket. I need some water. Sprite me. Oh, jeez.
With like a pipette.
But on a very oh my gosh, I just like totally had an accent there. Sorry, I don't know what just happened to me. I think I just got possessed. Okay. I don't know what just happened. On a positive note, she also says that it's very safe to have sex with these beings because they supposedly do not carry any STDs, which I guess is good news.
That's what they all say.
They also say that you cannot have a child as a result of these rambunctious romps in the woods unless both parties are in agreement. So both of y'all have to say, let's let it happen. I'm good with it. You good with it? Cool. Before anything. But all you fellas out there listening, or certain ladies out there listening, don't fret, because Haugader also had this to say, quote, yes, there are female elves. They're called elverines, and they are hot, even to girls, end quote.
She wrote that. That's an actual sentence she wrote.
Yes, that is an actual sentence that she did an interview with Vice, and that's where that was.
Of course you.
I know, right? You know, also no need to feel left out for any of the homosexual humans. All elves are supposedly bisexual. So they don't care. They're just down for Pound Town. They don't care who, what, where, when, why. They're in it to win it.
Very accepting. Very accepting. Good for them.
I know. And you don't have to worry about getting anything, supposedly.
I fail to see how any of this is a curse. I still don't get how it's a curse.
I am almost to a part that's like, what the fuck? Okay. But the little disclaimer here. If you just so happen to find yourself in the woods or any type of, you know, outdoorsy landscape of Iceland, and you come across these elves, and you're not quite ready to dive in, don't worry. It's said that they will never, ever try to do anything that you don't want to do. And remember, they can basically read your mind. You don't have to worry about, you know, any elf sexual assault. Maybe they're naughty.
Should we just like send all the men to live in the woods so they can learn some like proper behavior from these elves?
Oh, I think they would. Oh no, I think they would ruin them.
True.
And why should they get all the good sex?
That's also very true.
Although they maybe could learn how to toss a taco salad properly. There's more than one way to toss a salad. Oh my God. Oh, speak of the devil, there's my husband calling me. Don't interrupt me, bitch. Elves are said to be all about free love. And they don't like to be tied down. They don't get jealous. I mean, I'm just picturing just elf orgies galore. I mean, everybody, it's a party. They all just tag team each other and they don't care. They like both directions. It doesn't matter. Oh my God. I just, in my head, was picturing like orgy meets Cirque du Soleil. Like, with the little 8-centimeter guys.
Oh my God, it's like The Boys, the infamous episode when he shrinks down.
And he explodes the guy from his butthole.
Yeah.
Wow.
This one in the hero orgy episode, there's like one guy's power is to shrink down. I think his name's the Flea or something.
Why does that sound familiar?
Oh, it was like it was supposed to be like so
Herogasm.
Yeah, like ridiculous that they wrote like loads of articles about it. So you might have.
Oh, well, ladies, get ready. Hold on to your tits.
Ready.
There we go. Locked and loaded. Some intriguing information she also adds is that when elves shoot their shot, they produce sparkling sperm. That's right, glittery goo. Yeah, glittery glue. And I'm like, why is it glittery? Maybe like, are they sure they don't have STDs and maybe that's why it's glittery? They should just call it confetti cum.
Is it like really difficult to like? Are there little bits of glitter everywhere afterwards?
Oh, just
you know, like when you have something sparkly on you and you can't get it off for days, keep finding bits.
It's funny that you say that because let me highlight where I'm at so I don't get lost here because that's how my brain works. At the end, I actually made a comment. I wonder if you could even give it a head or if it would be more like a Tic Tac. And if it's sparkling, I wonder if it's smooth or kind of gritty.
Well,
gritty.
Because I mean, like, is that a way that you can maybe tell if like your spouse or your partner is like shagging an elf behind your back? Because you come home and there's all this glitter glue on their hands and around their mouth and on their clothes. They're like, no, I promise I was only making arts and crafts. And he said, I know you were shagging an elf. Is that how it works?
Well, they didn't say anything about the women's fluids being glittery. It's only the men's. So they might, depending on how they swing or what their preference is, they might not even have any evidence.
That's a shame.
Yeah, but she's coming home with it.
Yeah, like pull glitter out of her pocket and just make it rain. Oh my gosh. But Hagedorn admits that she cannot say how long these orgasmic opportunities last because, according to her, laying in a bed of velvet moss accompanied by a magical being by her side tends to blur the time-space continuum. So you just kind of get lost, which they actually do say that a lot, that if you do with fairy and elves and you encounter them, you do have that lost time similar to like a alien abduction. I've heard a lot of reports about that. So
did you know that apparently Steven Tyler, the lead singer of Aerosmith, he says that as a child he saw some fairies in the woods and went away with them. And,
they're called gay people, Katrina. Don't be so rude.
Oh my gosh, that's perfect. That's perfect. Here's a downside. If you hope to document these encounters of ecstasy via electronic devices, guess again. Elves are said to have an infatuation with electronics and will steal any that they lay their eyes on. So they suggest, all right, here, going in the woods without a camera, a recorder, or even a fucking cell phone, which sounds like a suicide mission to me. I mean, would you go wandering in the woods with no GPS and no phone?
Are we sure she isn't just a serial killer? It's a really elaborate ploy to get victims.
That is genius. A bunch of dumb. I mean, fuck, sign me up. I'd be one of those assholes. But yeah, I just thought that was really interesting. So that leaves me, after all of these lovely details, that I have some questions. One, would you bang an elf?
100% the dream. Currently obsessed with a star from BG3.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't think I would. I think I would be very suspicious of doing that. And I would also be afraid to get it stuck.
Not 8 centimeters tall.
That's a good point.
I'd go for a bigger one.
A big, bring me the biggest.
I would be a bit.
Holy fucking elf. It doesn't matter if it's a guy, if it's a girl, whatever. If you could tickle my fancy, go for it. Yeah, we'll make a Patreon tier, and all of the money for that Patreon tier is going to go for a ticket to Iceland, and I am just going to wander the woods until I find something that'll do me.
But,
God.
But how will you document it without your phone?
Hey, I never said I needed to document it. Huh?
What if you had a drone, like a drone following you that someone else controlled way far up in the sky?
The elf can't reach.
That's actually
the elf can't reach it.
What? But if they're supernatural or magical, they could probably still get it to come down. Like and then who would be operating the drone? Because you'd be a little preoccupied, I'd hope, if you're enjoying yourself.
A wingman, a literal wingman.
Yeah, be like, hey, you want to see me have sex with something? Can you record it? That'd be great. Really get a good angle. I want some elf porn. Maybe I should get some pointy ears to get an OnlyFans. What are your guys' thoughts on this glittery sperm situation? I mean, do you think it's just because they're magical? Do you think there's something in it? Maybe is it like spermicide, like magical spermicide?
I think it's purely for the aesthetics.
What are they eating to make it glittery?
Probably like fucking flowers and fruit, and I don't know. I imagine that's what elves eat. But as long as it's not extra difficult to clean up, I'm fully there for.
When you were a kid, did you ever use glitter glue?
Yes.
So the glitter didn't get everywhere; it stayed encased in the glue.
Yeah.
But that's even worse, because then it looks like jizz with glitter. Ooh, I can't even think about that.
I'd prefer the jizz with glitter than without, to be honest.
I wonder what it tastes like.
It's a plus for me.
Like, does it taste like rainbows?
Does it taste like? That's a good question. That's a good question.
Yeah, come on, Hilda.
And especially if like
tell us what it tastes like, bitch.
Yeah,
because I'd imagine they have like a really nice like diet anyway, and then that's supposed to make it taste nice.
Yeah, they say like eating pineapples or whatever, it's supposed to like make it sweet. I don't fucking know.
I feel like Stephanie Meyer wrote that book as well as Twilight, just to further her agenda of sparkly supernatural beings.
So yeah, I don't know. Maybe what if it's an STD, like elf herpes?
Right.
What if it's got elf gonorrhea?
And they're just telling you they don't.
What if, because it's in the male sperm, what if it's all of like the bred unhatched babies?
Unhatched.
Like,
that's what baby elves look like.
But they do say it's the sperm that's glittery. It doesn't say all of the stuff is glittery. It's just the sperm.
So what's it called? Yeah, the wiggly bit. Yeah, that.
I'm just picturing all of these little spermies swimming, and they're all a different color. And it's like some Pink Floyd is playing in the background or something. I don't know.
That's disgusting.
But then again, I'm also thinking, I'm not sure how great it could be if it's only 8 centimeters. And that's like the person. I mean, wait, does it even have a dick?
No.
Just like I'll just squash it. I would just rather squish it. I feel like if I met a fairy or whatever the fuck it was, elf, that was that big, I would scream at it like a fucking fly. I would not even blink. I would not even look at it. I would not talk to it. I would kill it immediately. I would.
Okay.
You would say, "Hello, Jasmine." You just squish.
You want a
eat shit is what I want.
Well, hey, you never know what they're into, I guess. But oh my gosh, okay, so I could take the elf, I could stick it in my cleavage and just tote him around like a little like ride. Yeah. I mean, everything gets stuck in these things anyway. Yeah, $10 a ride. You get to make it all the way 20 feet. Step right up, take a number. Who wants to ride the titty ride?
It could be fun to just like hang out with them and like learn their ways. I don't think I'd bang them. I want to just chat and be like, so how does it feel to be that fucking big?
What if you took your other half with you and you could have them coach your other half on how to toss a salad or whatever you want to do?
What, just have them whispering in the ear?
Yeah, like they're over there and they're like, doing whatever they're doing, and it's like sitting on the shoulder, and it's like, go left, right, up top.
That's a money
Go
making
fight it, go
scheme,
fight
that
it.
is.
Yeah,
literally Ratatouille moment.
Yeah. You got too much spit. That's never the answer. All right, so last question I have that I have listed here is, what would you do if your significant other or whatever, your other half, whatever they may be, came back from a trip and they were like, babe, you're never going to believe what happened to me. I fucked an elf and she was hot or he was hot or whatever. How would you respond to that? Pictures or it didn't happen?
Please stop going to Comic-Con. I don't like, please, babe, I know you like Zelda a lot, but like...
I could totally dress like an elf for CryptidCon.
You could, yeah. Tickets and be like, do you want to ride?
Yeah, I would be
I'd be
fucking jealous.
more worried about their mental health initially, I
And
think.
yeah, and take me there. Why the fuck didn't you take me with you?
Take me with you.
Yeah.
I would probably have to bomb Iceland and kill all the fairies. I would be fuming with that. I would be like, fuck off. Go back
Yeah.
to Iceland to your little bitch. And then I would find the bomb and I think that's a very fair reaction. I don't know about you guys.
I do think that is fair, yeah.
Said earlier, they won't do anything unless you want to. So if they come home and say, I did it, then you know that son of a bitch wanted it.
Oh, baby, I didn't mean
Yeah.
fucking bullshit.
It's not
You
like
wanted that.
I can't help it. I was sitting there, I was reading a book, laying on a blanket, and then boom, it fell into my vagina. I couldn't help it. It tripped and it was just like whoop.
Oh my god.
And then it took me forever to get it out.
If it's 8 centimeters, like maybe it did. Like, I just fell on that Buzz Lightyear doll, and it's like, no, you did not.
Picture it is sitting there, and maybe he can't even get in there. He's got to have like a little step ladder, and he's just climbing the stairs to like get in there. If you're wanting to play with the outside, maybe he's just out there doing the YMCA dance, and just sliding it around.
Be a bit of. Hopefully they can fly. Can elves fly?
No, I don't think so.
They're not fairies.
I think fairies fly and elves do not.
Oh, shame. That's a bit lame.
Although that would make it easier, wouldn't it? I wonder if there's I don't know if there would be a tribe, community, whatever the group of them are, of fairies that are just as down as these elves are.
Yeah, they're all sluts.
Oh.
Wouldn't you be too if there was no chance of pregnancy and STDs?
So that's pretty much what I got. Icelandic elf sex. I do think it would be really interesting if there was other accounts from other people to
definitely we need
validate.
To look into this properly.
Yeah.
So we did an episode on the Holder, and she's basically like a forest being who is an attractive young woman who comes to lonely men in the forest and has sex.
How come
with
it's never this rockin', sexy ass, snake slinging dude coming out and being like, "Hey, bitch, where are those guys at?"
There are some male versions of her.
I hope so.
But like she was the main one, and then it was like the only way you could tell she wasn't human is that
her feet backwards.
Yeah, or like she had cow's feet or a tail, or like
that's a little obvious.
All of her many dresses. But there was one, and she basically just like flashed a guy and was like,
"It works for me.
You coming?" Like,
works for me every time. Who are you kidding?
I think the reason why there's no male version of these is because women are too fucking smart to go into a forest with a random man who was like, "Hey, babe, you want to bang?" Like, no, get the fuck away from me. I'm going to call the fucking cops.
There was a
Whereas
flasher.
men are like, "Oh, free vagina, I'm coming."
Speak for yourself. Are you kidding me?
No, you go to the police. We have Jasmine. I've always about a flasher from my grandmother. And I'm sure, Jasmine, you must have heard this one before, because we're cousins. We're cousins for everyone. It was that my grandmother and her friend were in a park, and there was a flasher, and they went to report it to the police. But my grandmother was blind, and she wasn't wearing her glasses, and so like the police showed them like a book of the local sex pests, and she just like randomly pointed at a man. She just randomly pointed at a guy, and then, because she didn't want to admit that she didn't actually see anything.
Did they arrest him?
And then on her way out, she whispered the number to her friend so that it didn't seem like they were lying. And then we don't know what happened. Pointed to, like, it didn't even have to be a sex pest. We don't know. It was just a lineup of guys.
What if it was like Lieutenant Carl and they just threw him in there? Oh my gosh. I wonder if that dude got arrested. That's horrible.
Yeah.
That's our grandma for you.
That was our grandmother.
Well, how did she even know that he was a flasher?
No, she didn't. She just didn't want to admit that she was blind and that, like...
But why would they have asked her if they called the police because there was a flasher, she couldn't have seen that he was even flashing?
Yeah.
They saw that he flashed, but they couldn't see his face.
Yeah.
Well, they also saw something. Maybe it was really big. Oh, trench coat style?
Yeah.
Okay.
style.
But they-
Interesting.
I
It's
guess
the only
you'd be too
anecdote I have
distracted
of
by-
flashes, thankfully.
We'll go ahead and wrap this up. Again, ladies, thank you so very much for being on the very special
Valentine. That was
Valentine's.
amazing.
It's the perfect thing. And I heard your guys' podcast. I was like, I have got to ask these ladies if they could come on. I was like, it's gonna be fantastic.
We
And
had such a good time. Thank you. And
I
yeah,
was
we
not
can't
let down.
we can't like speak this openly on our podcast, so I'm very thankful for the
Yeah.
opportunity, and especially because like Jasmine's the crass one. That's our like dynamic, but I felt like I got to
It
I
was
got to
good. You
really-
guys were fantastic. And again, everybody, go check them out. Spooky Gals Podcast. And they're going to have the links. We're going to put it in the description, whichever direction that is. Y'all can't see me pointing unless you're a patron. I'll put all the links down there. Subscribe, rate, review, like, do all your shit. Show them some love because that's what it's all about.
Thanks,
very
you,
much.
Natasha.
See, I got a little soft there. That was good, right? Because I'm usually a heartless bitch. So, yeah. I guess that pretty much wraps that up. So I'm going to kill this button and tell these ladies the dirty little secret I was thinking of earlier.
Yeah.
So until next time, see ya.
Bye, guys.
Thank you for listening to this week's episode. Please subscribe, rate, and review anywhere you listen. This is more beneficial than you may know and will help others locate the podcast. Don't forget to check out my Patreon page as well. We currently have 2 tiers. The Snallygaster tier that'll get you unedited bonus audio, a sticker, a shout out on the podcast, and access to the private Discord server. The second tier is the Phantom tier, and that'll get you all of the benefits of the Snallygaster tier, plus access to live streams and Q&A sessions, and is the only place you can access all video footage from regular episodes as well as the Patreon exclusive episodes. You can subscribe today at patreon.com/cryptids, creeps, and conspiracy. Don't forget to head over to the TeePublic website and take a look at a variety of merch options that are available. You can also find and follow me on Instagram, Facebook, Threads, TikTok, X, and YouTube. All of these links can be found in the description of this episode under the Linktree hyperlink. Until next time, my friends, dare to believe.